The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 60. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch. Burly, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Didn't have any spiritual opium today.
All right. And our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, how you doing, man?
Good. Trying to look awake today, not to sound awake.
Yeah. So I want to welcome all of you patrons and all of you viewers and listeners. This is our first video episode that we're recording. Of course, it will also go up in audio to Patreon for the first day in early access, and then, of course, to the free podcast services. And this video format will also go up in early access on Patreon and then to our YouTube channels. And it will also unlock after the first day on Patreon. So, this is our Halloween special episode, kind of. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about that happened in the world of gaming this week. We're going to be talking about, what's that, Carl?
I said zombies are Halloween.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. Yes, and of course, Carl has his Xbox State of Decay shirt there. Yeah, he's sporting it. Yeah.
I kind of also wanted the Psychonauts 2 one. That one was really cool, but this, I played so much of the State of Decay, I had to represent. Cool.
And so a lot of stuff to talk about today. Our main topic of the show is going to be, of course, Halloween-based games. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things, especially the Halo Infinite campaign trailer that came out this week. The Sony State of Play. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well, and some other stuff. Uncharted's Amy Hennig, of course. She's going to be doing a Marvel game now. We're going to be talking about that later on in the show. And, of course, our new game releases. And this week, also, the Xbox games with Gold and PlayStation Plus games for November. We're going to be talking about those as well. But first, before we get into that and what we've been playing this past week, for all of you viewers and listeners, here is a brief message about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month, and get early access to every episode and post-show, as well as listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and on Expat's YouTube channels, Expat YouTube Gaming and The Arena Citadel. Just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, let me talk about what I've been playing. I have been playing The Forgotten City
Oh
Of
yeah,
course,
there you go.
yeah, it's on Xbox Game Pass, of course, and it's developed by Modern Storyteller. It's an Australian development company, published by Dear Villagers. This game was originally a mod for Skyrim back in 2015, and then just morphed into its own game in its own right, and it's very, very beautiful. The world that you're in, it's like an ancient Roman city, it seems like. And basically the game is, it focuses on, for example, like human rights and sins. And so there's what they call a golden rule. So basically in this game, you start the game as somebody who washes up on a lake in Italy, and then this girl that saved you is telling you that, my friend has gone missing. He went into these ancient Roman ruins, and basically your character is an archaeologist, and so she's begging with you to go and find her friend. And so you go into these ruins and you go through a portal which takes you back in time about 2,000 years to this so-called ancient Roman city. But there's only about 25 inhabitants in this city. And so the magistrate tells you that there's a golden rule, and that golden rule, which are basically many different types of sins, like stealing, like murder, the golden rule is going to be broken. And what happens throughout the game that I've played so far is you can actually break the golden rule yourself, but you're supposed to go into investigation mode and find a person within this community that's going to break the golden rule. And that's the only way you're going to be able to get back to your own time. So basically, there's this golden rule which you can break, and during the game, it's not really a spoiler, but I stole something, and then once the golden rule is broken, then the whole scene turns black and white, and then there are these statues throughout the city. They're gold statues, and basically these gold statues are some of the past inhabitants of the city that had broken the golden rule. So basically, they are turned into gold, basically, just these gold statues. And as you're walking around through the game and you're walking past these gold statues, they're whispering to you, like, I can help you. Or they're saying, find the messenger or something like that. And so I'm not far enough into the game to find out what that means yet. But I've broken that golden rule once, and then you have to sprint to the portal and go through the portal again, and basically it loops you back in to the beginning of the story. But you can still save, for example, the conversations that you had with past inhabitants of the city. So it's not like you're starting completely all over again, but it feels that way. Once you come back through the portal again, you meet the same person over and over again that meets you like when you first came. But then you have more dialogues that you can choose from that says, "Hey, we've met before. We've had this conversation already," and so it gets you farther into the game. And yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like a walking sim in a way. It's an adventure game, but not really any combat yet. I've seen some of the trailers for it, and basically later in the game you get some type of bow that turns things. It's supposed to be the bow of Apollo, I think it is, and it turns things into gold around you, so that like lakes and areas where you can't go around without the bow, you can shoot and make the water gold, and so you can run across it and things like that. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's an investigative type of game. It's probably, like, from what they say, about a 10 to 15 hour game when it comes to investigating and hopefully getting your way back to present time. So yeah, the Forgotten City, it's pretty interesting. Also, I've been playing a little bit of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Discovery Tour. I'm still going through that. But that's about it for me this week. Burly, what about you? You've been playing. Actually, you finished Metroid Dread, right?
Yes, and the dread is finally over for me, and the rage. It was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, but that game, you have to have patience, or you are just gonna lose it, because some of those bosses can take a long time, and the problem is, there's not always a save room before you go to a boss, so you can lose like 10 to 15 minutes of progress if you don't, once you get to that boss, just beat it there, or put your Switch in rest mode and come back to it and re-wake it up. But if you are a Metroid fan, I can easily recommend this. But if you are new to Metroid, you like what you see with Dread, do not pick Dread up as your first Metroid. Start with Super, Fusion, or Zero Mission.
Okay.
How's the story? Is there a conclusion to the saga? And it's supposed to be the last one in that line.
Yes and no. Like, it kind of wraps stuff up, but it kind of leaves other elements that I think Nintendo is just kind of seeing how Dread does, and then being like, well, we took this long to make Dread. Maybe we'll make one in another 5 years.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, and Carl, what have you been playing, man?
Okay, so I finished my lethal run in State of Decay. So, very
lethal run.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But I think once you get to a certain point, once you got it down, it's not too bad. But what else did I? Okay, yeah, Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Okay,
I played through the entire game, and it's good. You know, I enjoyed it. It's one of those. It's classic Resident Evil, so it's like the good and the bad of that, right? Like the classic sort of like item management crap you got to deal with is there, and sometimes you're like, this is fine. Sometimes you're like, I have to carry this one stupid little key, and it takes up an entire spot, the same spot as like a giant shotgun. You know, and it's like. That type of stuff is just maddening, and as far as like the tank controls, not a huge deal. I mean, the gameplay is pretty simple as far as shooting mechanics go. So yeah, like that didn't really make a difference. So it's really that there was too much backtracking, and there's a lot of times where it's like, I need this item right now. You go to this room and there's something to do there, but you can't do it because you know the item. But there's another item in that room, and you get it there, and you have to go to some other room to use it there, to go back to the room that you were just in to get this item to solve the puzzle. I'm like, stop doing that. Like, it's really, really, it's maddening.
Yeah.
Story's cheesy, typical Resident Evil cheese, but there's like cool, fun elements in it. You know, Wesker shows up. This was the first one where he's got like superpowers, and so it's good, and it's the first 3D, actual 3D Resident Evil, so they're starting to play with different camera angles, so it does have that static camera shot, but then as you move, sometimes it swings and follows, and it does cool, interesting things that was never done before. So it's a good game, but it's rough to play, like it's classic Resident Evil today.
And you also were playing Echo Generation, right?
Absolutely, yes. I played a good bit of it. I'm pretty far. I might be close to the end. I'm not sure. It's like a beautiful game. Like the art style is great. There are times when you walk into like a new screen, and this is like a beautiful like field vista with this nice building, beautiful sky, and it just looks amazing, right? Sometimes you're just in awe, and some of the battles, like the bosses and monsters, are just huge, enormous things. Just great animations, right? But like you're just kids, right? So you're just kids fighting these like random giant monsters and robots and ghosts.
Kind of like a Stranger Things.
Yeah, but it's very random. Like there's a lot of things coming from different genres that they're just kind of mixing all together, and initially you think there might be it's a pretty standard turn-based RPG. nothing amazing going on, but it's fun. It's cute. But like my issues with the game is sort of that there's not enough going on. So like the story is barely there. You think there'd be a good story, right? But the writing is clever. Like the dialogue, I think it's all clever. I like what they're doing with it. But the story doesn't really go anywhere. Like your kids, you're just walking around town and you run into weird crap, and that's it. That's kind of it. And then you're just kind of dealing with like, oh, there's aliens. Oh, I need this item to get to here to do that. Like very like Maniac Mansion, I guess, in sort of way. Like it has that point and click adventure sort of like, I need this item to get to here to do this, to do that, as well as of course also being a turn-based RPG. And some of those mechanics are really annoying because every special attack has like some sort of button prompt or thing to it, right? So sometimes it's just like tap A really fast, right? And those are the easy ones. Sometimes it's like some like different shapes moving together and you have to time it when they come together. And I find that it's really annoying because you end up using the attacks based on how consistently you can actually hit that mechanic. Because if you fail, then you do like less damage than a basic attack. And it's like, well, why did I spend the skill points to do this attack when I can't consistently do the damage I need? They didn't really put a good effort into like, I think, balancing an actual combat system. So, like it's fun enough, but it's not amazing.
I see.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm thinking like, it's a good game. It's like maybe like 7 out of 10 type of game. Like it's fun. You'll enjoy it. It's a bit obtuse sometimes. You're like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I think I can get this item somewhere. I don't know where it is. Nobody's telling me where to go.
Right.
It's that kind of thing. There's no fast travel. There's no map.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of the problem I was having in the Forgotten City, because in the missions you have to find certain people, but they don't show you where they are, and they could be walking anywhere in the city, so you got to run all around the city looking for them. Yeah, and that's a little bit annoying in a sense. But
are they in the same place at the same time every time you do it?
No.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so you're always having to run around looking for people. So yeah.
And then my secret surprise game, I had a surprise. I played another game. The reason it's a surprise is because guess what, guys? I actually bought a game. Can you believe it? First of the year, I bought one game.
Wow.
I know, right?
And it is
Darkest Dungeon 2.
Ooh.
And it's on
Awesome.
the Epic Game Store. It's an exclusive. So now I had to like actually mess around with the Epic Game Store for the first time, which I gotta say, not really the most pleasant experience. Like I ran into issues of like, I bought the game and then it wouldn't let me install it. I was like, all right, download. And it's like, not doing it. I'm like, what the hell? And it's like, all right, pick the destination to install. I hit it and it's like, just waiting, nothing's happening. And then eventually I got some weird error message about the location. I'm like, why? It's the usual spot. And then I changed the install location. Then it started working. I was like, whatever. Why? I don't know. Who cares? Just work. Just play. And
You think with all the money Epic has, they would be able to make, because they want to go in competition with Steam, they would put the money into the platform.
Yeah.
They should. I mean, it looks nice, the Steam launcher, but it is missing these other features. I noticed, like, there's no like user reviews as far as I saw.
Yeah,
So
there's no reviews.
You can't get an idea of like if people like this game or not. And there's no Darkest Dungeon 2 is an early access game. So there's no actual reviews out for it yet. I mean, you can go on YouTube. I looked, I watched some people talk about the game and play it to get an idea. But I love the first one, so I figured, why not? It's a $30 game, although I got a coupon on Epic for $10 off, so only be $20.
Nice
for my one purchase.
Nice.
It's nice. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's significantly different from the first game. There isn't like the hub town, and then you build up the town, and then you go into you choose the dungeon runs that you want to go on, and you choose like the short, long, and you pick your guys, and they level up. And if you survive, then you can go back in with them and level them up. Not like that. This time, it's 3D looking. Same art style, but 3D, which looks beautiful. Animations are amazing. You know, sound effects and music. The mood of it is all just as amazing as it was, and even more beautiful with larger character models in 3D. But now you're like, you have this wagon, and you're going like straight through some sort of area, right? It's a spooky, weird looking area, and there's a couple different choices. And along the way, you hit different like locations, and different encounters happen. It could be a battle, or it could be like peasants begging, you know, and the choices you make have interactions between your characters and adjust like your flame level, and you get to then eventually you get to an inn, and at the inn is when then you can do like your upgrades and your stress relievers and things that were in the previous games. Like all the elements of the other games are there. They've just kind of changed up and shifted. And I don't know if it's better, but like are things that are really interesting about it. So I'm like, I'm interested. I'm in it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. But
Cool.
It's a good game.
And Burly, you're in the early stages of a game that Carl and I were very surprised that you actually went and got. Guardians of the Galaxy. Could you give us a brief little, first impression of what you played so far?
Yeah, I've got about 8 hours into it. Yes, I crumbled and bought it because the reviews started coming out, and it was good, and people. And then, like, I watched reviewers I actually trust review it, because, like, I remember, I think, like, IGN was one of the first publications and gave it, like, an 8. I was like, okay, but then again, you can't, with IGN, you got to look at which person, because you have some people that are good at reviews there, and then some that can't write a review to save their life. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
But I've really enjoyed this game. They have the dialogue, I think, is really well between you and your other Guardians.
Okay.
And the soundtrack for when you're in your ship, mind you, I haven't heard. I know these songs because I've heard them, but you've got a bunch of 80s classics,
Right.
and they even put Rick Ashley in there.
Oh God.
Because because the internet can't let that go.
Right.
But the original
it's still a good song, though, right?
Yes, a guilty pleasure. But the original soundtrack for the game that they let you, that I can still listen to and have played for my viewers through the streaming mode on the game, really good. I haven't got through it all, but it's actually the one of the sound producers at iOS Montreal. He wrote with someone else there. He wrote all the music and the lyrics, and they did a fantastic job with that.
Cool.
Like, highly check out the video Zero to Hero.
Okay.
But the combat's good, and I'm playing on hard, and it's not too bad of a challenge. But you really got to get used to using your other Guardians' abilities and using your own Star-Lord abilities. But I still do wish I wasn't just playing a Star-Lord, because Star-Lord is kind of weak. But they kind of make him. They want, but the whole thing is they want you really using all your different Guardian slings abilities. Like, there's little strategies and combos you should be doing, like using Groot's level 1, which will entangle a bunch of enemies, and then you can use Rocket's level 1, where he throws a bunch of bombs, so they're in place. They can do that, and then for enemies that you need to stagger, you use Drax. He doesn't do much damage, but he just pretty much does a lot to their stagger meter. And then when they're once you get them staggered, use Gamora, because she can do heavy damage to enemies, to one enemy. So,
it's been getting a lot of good reviews, that's for sure. Some mixed, but generally pretty good reviews. So, we'll be talking about that more. I'm sure pretty soon.
Actually, I'd like to say I was right about this game. I was the one who was look, It looks
Yeah.
good. They're doing everything they need to do. You know, they're not making that Avengers game that people are like, I'm so scared it's gonna be an Avengers game. Like, then you're not paying attention to what the game actually is.
Carl
Yeah,
was
no.
right.
Yeah, you were right, and I look like a fucking idiot for when Expat and I did the initial thing when we watched the E3, because I was, if you do go back and watch that, Expat and I were like, ooh, at the beginning, but then
Yeah,
as they started revealing some of the stuff, it kind of took the wind out of the sails, because they're like, yeah,
Well,
Star-Lord only. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but we were
what?
generally Burly. That was because they showed like 20 minutes of the game. Come on,
Right.
man. I mean, it's like they
Yeah,
showed
sure.
way too much. You know, if they
There's
would have
certain
showed like
games-
5 minutes or so, that would have been really cool, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain games where it's like, all right, I don't want to sit here and watch you play this. Like,
Right.
just give me the gist of it and let's move
Right.
on.
Right.
So,
Right.
but actually, Burly, I wanted to ask, do you think that in a sequel, let's say, that there's a good way for them to allow you to play as some of the other Guardians, to control them?
I think they could do it if in a sequel. You would have to they'd have to do quite a bit and put the effort, but I believe there is a way you could do it. Now, how they would do it is like, let's say you all get into a prison and you're all locked up in different cells, but Rocket, because he's so small, he can fit through a vent and get him and start rescuing them.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
whether
So
they
what
do
you're
it that kind
describing,
of.
yeah, it kind of sounds like one of the Arkham games, or maybe multiple of them, where you kind of play as like, you play as Catwoman, I think, at one point in the game, and it's like a short segment, right? Something like that.
Yeah, see, I haven't played the Arkham games, but I do know of those.
Oh my god, who are you? Why?
I've been meaning to. I have them.
Burly's on the hot seat.
I do have them. I have spent money, but yeah, I have the games. It's just a matter of, my thing is, I know those games are going to take me time. I don't want to put an hour in. And it's one of those games where I put an hour, but life and shit, and then I never go back to it for 3 years.
Yeah.
I would
I
think
only played
that
the first two, but those are probably the best two.
I would think being able to play between multiple characters, you figure that's going to be something they're going to implement in the DLC packages that are going to come out, I think, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they said they're doing DLC, but
Oh, come on. Yeah, they're going to do DLC, I think. Yeah.
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 Hey, if it's the quality like they've put in this game so far,
Yeah.
I will buy the DLC.
Right.
You see, like, I mean, I haven't played it obviously, but from when people talk about the way it is, like playing Justice Starlet, like it makes sense just in the way that, like, and I know Batman in the Batman Arkham games, not a team, but he does have the Bat family, right?
Right.
And when you play as those other characters, even when you play as Catwoman, like, it's the same game. And that's the thing. Like, you're doing basically the same stuff. Her abilities, they're basically the same. And that doesn't work for going from Star-Lord, guy, you know, with guns who can kind of fly a bit with his boosters, to, you know, Drax, who's just a brute with swords, right? Like, you have to design very different type of gameplay if you want it to be fun.
Right.
Which is why I think that it makes sense, and they shouldn't necessarily do it unless they're going to put a big effort into, like, how those characters are going to play. Because you don't want them feeling the same, because they're not. They're not similar at all.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and I do agree. Like, I also want to mention that, because, like, I have one of the elemental things for Star-Lord's guns. I thought they would only use it for just combat. You do use it for puzzles to get through in the story.
Yeah,
but you can also, if you're smart and you take a look around with your visor and looking around, you can use it and get yourself little extra goodies. So, and the collectibles I do like, because you bring them back to your ship, and it's not just sitting there and doing nothing. But if you go investigate them on your ship, your crew members will come up and they'll unlock different dialogue. So it's not just, hey, for an achievement or trophy, you're getting something else with it, more dialogue, which I do like.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Okay, let's move into the topics of the week. So our weekly news beat. So the first topic we're going to talk about is the Halo Infinite campaign that the gameplay trailer came out this past week. So everything you need to know about Halo. So, I mean, looks like you're going to be destroying outposts in this game. We're going to be talking about that, but it looks like, so from what they're saying here about the story is that Halo Infinite's going to take place 3 years after Guardians. And it's going to follow the events of Guardians. And from what I've read about this, you might want to play a little bit of Halo Wars 2 if you haven't played Halo Wars 2, because the main villain in Halo Wars 2, Atrios, I think that's his name, he's going to have something to do with this game. And of course, you guys, both you, Burly and Carl, I'm sure you saw the images of Craig looking much better than he did in 2020. So
Nice. It's got the nice beard.
yeah,
Mohawk going on there.
yeah. So I'm going to read some of this for you. This is from Windows Central and Brandon Lowry. So from the story, it says Halo Infinite story will follow the events of Halo 5 Guardians, which saw the AI Cortana return and use ancient Forerunner war machines called Guardians to take control of the galaxy. The longtime Halo companion believed that the created, or AIs, should lead and protect the universe. Based on dates located in Halo Infinite's trailer, the game will take place in 2561, 3 years after Cortana's takeover. And guys, I want to ask you real quick, what do you think? Are we going to see Cortana in this game? I'm thinking she's going to show up at the end. What do you think?
Yeah.
Didn't you already see her in the trailer or in the gameplay thing we saw? Because there's two AIs, right? They both look kind of similar, but they're colored different. Cortana is colored, I think, purple.
It's possible,
right?
Yeah.
And there are a couple scenes where you see a purple AI. So I think you do see her. I'm not like an expert on Halo lore. I kind of just casually played that.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Expat. She's gonna show up as the end, but I wouldn't be surprised you get little cutscenes through the game. Not much, but who knows?
Yeah, I think she'll be a significant part of the story.
Right.
I think they know that's what people want. They want Master Chief and Cortana's story.
Right. Yeah, I still got to play through 4, 5, Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
I would say play 4. I didn't play 5. I don't know if it's, and people don't say it's that good, but 4 has a good campaign and a really good story. And that actually 4 has the big emotional beat with Master Chief and Cortana. That's the thing you shouldn't miss if you're going to play any of the story.
Yeah. So a little more on this. Halo Infinite's campaign opens near a damaged Halo installation known as Zeta Halo, the design of which was heavily inspired by the Pacific Northwest, according to the February 2021, quote, Inside Infinite, end quote, blog post. In the introductory cutscene debuted at E3 2019, a stranded UNSC soldier known as the Pilot saves Master Chief from the vacuum of space. The Chief next traverses nearby debris and discovers the weapon. Okay, so that's the other AI. So a Cortana-like AI that claims that the original Cortana was deleted after infiltrating Zeta Halo and locked down for deletion on the UNSC Infinity flagship. However, Chief did not complete this task, indicating that someone or something else has attempted to delete Cortana. The subroutine that was designed to delete the weapon after concluding her mission also failed, adding further mystery to the situation. So I think, like you were saying, Carl, this whole story is going to be revolved around that, I think. And then the Pilot claims that the UNSC lost a conflict prior to the opening of the game. Based on the official July 2020 gameplay debut, the Banished faction has returned as an enemy faction from Halo Wars 2. So that's why I was mentioning Atrios earlier, because he's the leader of the Banished. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of the Banished in this game. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the campaign and the gameplay. So compared to previous games, Halo Infinite features a much less linear approach to the gameplay experience. The TAC map screen seen during the campaign's Gameplay 2020 unveiling and the 2021 campaign overview shows multiple different side objectives, such as enemy bases, taking clear inspiration from open world titles like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. Some other side objectives include rescuing captured Marines, taking out banished mini-bosses, and capturing bases of your own that you can use to call in weapons or vehicles. So anyway, I want to ask you guys, what was your impression of this trailer? It looks a lot better than it did back in 2020. It looks really pretty now. And yeah, I'm excited to go and wipe out some of these outposts. So what do you guys think? Carl, I'll start with you, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I was really impressed with it. I'm not a huge first-person shooter fan, obviously. I've said that many times, but
Right.
Halo is the one franchise like I have that nostalgia for. And watching this, I'm like, this looks like the best Halo. Right? Like this looks like a ton of fun. It visually looks great too now, but like just the big open areas and looking at the map, and it's like, oh, I can go here and I can attack this like base from any crazy way I want. I can, the idea that you can, I can call in different vehicles and I can attack, the situation with specific vehicle loadout, specific weapon loadouts. Like that's pretty cool. That's something very new for Halo. Mm-hmm. Your upgrades, you got some of those. They showed a little bit. You got those booster rockets from Halo 5, which isn't in the multiplayer of Halo Infinite. Yeah. But it's cool that that's like in the gameplay of the story. And I do like that if you notice, there's like actual boss battles.
Right.
There's like named enemies that have like health bars. Oh my God, that's completely new for Halo. It's never been a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had boss battles, but not like that.
Right.
Yeah. So like overall, like it was, I think just, it's kind of undeniable that like this looks really like a really good game. And I think it's going to be a success based on this trailer.
Yeah. And they also clarified that this isn't a fully open world game as well. So rather a series of expansive levels tied together by the narrative. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be sections where you have to, like you have to go to a certain location and then you're sort of locked into like a regular sort of path of, whatever mission you're on.
Right. Burly, what about you? What'd you think of the
It looks good. I'm surprised we didn't get Master Chief going on some kind of tower, huddling there, showing a vibe around, and he loops into a bale of hay.
Scouting.
I had to, or
Burly's shot at Assassin's Creed there, yeah.
I like Assassin's Creed, don't get me wrong, but just because they're going open world, you kind of have to. Or he's not drinking with them in a drinking game, and we're hearing skull.
He doesn't need the card of hay. He can just jump and do like the hero landing,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. No, this does looks interesting, and since it is going to be a different kind of setup, it has me interested. Like 4 and 5 really didn't, from what I saw, didn't get me like, oh my God, I need to buy these and go play these. Mm-hmm. This has me interested. So now I want to go back, do 4 and 5, and then try Infinite. And the nice thing is, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you don't have to go shell out, in my case, $90 to buy the game and play. So
day one. So
I can do it on Game Pass. Great. And since they're doing stuff different, great. And as you said, this actually looks like a series game instead of a first original Xbox game.
Yeah,
an Xbox early 360 game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Xbox One era. Yeah.
And you guys might get it a few hours earlier than me, because for you out there in America, out in Florida, and for you, Burly, in Canada, it's December 8th. But of course, since I live in the future out here in Japan, the release date is December 9th. So you guys are probably going to get it a few hours earlier than me, so you guys will be on it. But
Oh
I'll
yeah,
catch
I'm gonna
up.
be on it that minute.
I'll
You're gonna have to
catch up.
man.
Yeah.
You'd be so
Yeah,
far
I'm
behind.
just gonna call in work sick or just take a vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Halo
Okay.
is a game where people will do that, but
Yeah.
Oh, I remember because
Yeah.
like I got into the series with the second game. I remember when 3 launched, and I was still like early high school. I think it was like grade 10 when Halo 3 launched, and people were taking days off, trying to gonna try and weasel their way out of school to get the game and just play on day one and go through it all.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some games. What was it? I forget. I think like not only Cyberpunk, but there were a few games like last year and the year before that were delayed, and people had already had scheduled vacation days.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
they had to reschedule those vacation days, or some of them couldn't reschedule. You know, they were shit out of luck. But yeah. So okay, let's go ahead and move on. So PlayStation State of Play. We had another one this week.
Do we
So
actually
everything
have
announced-
to talk about it?
Well, there was one
You
game
could call
or
it the
two that
state of-
looked
State
interesting.
of decay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. State of Decay. That's awesome. Yeah, just rename it PlayStation State of Decay. Yeah. That's PlayStation fans out there. We love you. So anyway, PlayStation, everything announced at the showcase. This is from Android Central and Jennifer Locke. So let's go ahead and look at the first game, Deathverse. Let It Die. So the State of Play kicked off with the announcement of Deathverse Let It Die, a multiplayer melee survival action game set to release for PS5 and PS4 in spring 2022. Now, what was really interesting about this State of Play, they were promoting it as, like PS5 games, PS5, but most of these games, PS5, PS4, so yeah.
Yeah, they're still on that, They know that they have such a huge install base.
Right.
They have to. They still have to.
120 million. They have to. Yeah, definitely. So what did you guys think?
Since you can't get the PS5s fully out to everyone,
Right.
you have to.
Yeah.
They got
So what
enough
did you
out
guys
there.
think of Deathverse?
Ugh.
I was like, meh. I wasn't so interested in that one.
I just
know if it was-
visually, you could see what I think.
Yeah. I don't know if it was me, but like maybe the feed at that point, like it was really blurry and crappy. It looked like garbage thing, honestly, when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Not the visual of the game, but like the stream, I guess maybe was failing at that moment. And I was like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah.
We're in for it here. This game, like I think melee online games, it's really hard to get that right. Most of the time, that is a failure.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's why I say like Avengers, it was so hard for it to succeed because it's hard. It's a melee. It's like a brawler. I mean, every character has a ranged attack, but for the most part, you're brawling, and that's it's difficult. We haven't can we outside fighting games? Like I don't know. There's a lot of successful games where you're like punching a lot of people online. As multiplayer goes, online multiplayer games.
Yeah. Next up, We Are OFK. It's a OFK, it's called. So We Are OFK follows the indie pop band as they attempt to break into the music business, fall in and out of love, and figure out how to pay rent and make art in Los Angeles. Set to release in 2022 for PS5. I mein, you see a kid in like a radio station. I thought it was just a CM the whole time. I don't know what to make much of this game right now. I don't know. What'd you guys think?
This is when I was like, what are we doing here? What is this?
Yeah.
Why is this going on so long? Like,
Right.
Art style looks nice, but like, I don't know what this is. I still don't know what it is.
Right.
I literally had question marks because when this was going on, this whole state of play or state of decay was going on. I was streaming Metroid because I couldn't get off work to get a little earlier to set up for this. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just finish Metroid And I remember many people in my chat just came in and says, boy, you missed nothing. And then when I watch back, I'm like, oh, they're kind of right. Because this, I just had like question marks above my head. I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks neat, but I know nothing here. This doesn't sell me on the game. This makes me like, okay, this is something they don't want to put any like they didn't put anything into to try and grasp me. So why waste my time in trying to dig deep?
Yeah, it just felt like an ad campaign. The whole showing of that game. So next up, Bugsnax.
Is it a real band? Is that a real band? I think they said. I don't know.
I would think it's a fictional band. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a real band though, because they said something about the sound. Like they're releasing actual music videos, and you can play like interactive music videos for the band's music or something.
In the metaverse, right? Yeah.
Yes. It's very meta.
Yeah. Okay, next
no,
up.
It looks like.
Yeah. Go ahead, Burly.
It looks like it looks like it is a band.
Okay.
OFK is a band, so small indie band. So.
Okay. Next up, Bugsnax, the Isle of Big Snacks. Bugsnax is getting a big update. Bugsnax, the Isle of Big Snacks, takes players to a mysterious new island where all of the Bugsnax are gigantic. Well, at least the Bugsnax standards, set to hit in 2022, free for all players. Okay.
That I have a little to say, because I have Bugsnax because I got the PS5 when it launched.
Right.
Bugsnax, when that game came out, neat, but buggy as shit. Like, in my experience, it was a contender with Cyberpunk of buggy.
Okay.
Like, so I kind of
bug proportions, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping with this update they may have fixed things, because I do want to go back and try it because it was neat. So let's. Okay.
Next up, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Now, we saw this game last year, didn't we? I mean, this has been in development for a while here. Next entry in the Five Nights. Yeah.
We got like 15-second teaser, I think, last year.
Yeah. So, next entry in the Five Nights at Freddy's series is coming on December 16th. Why not for Halloween? Come on, man. This state of play trailer showed off some new gameplay in the survival horror title. So, yeah. Okay, let me keep rolling on here. Kart Rider Drift. I mean, what a ripoff of Mario Kart this was. The popularity of kart racers knows no bounds. A new trailer for Kart Rider Drift was revealed during the state of play, though a release date wasn't revealed. Players can sign up for its closed beta now. Kart Rider will be free to play when it releases. Yeah, come on, man.
I think that one's like a PC game. It's been around for a while, I believe. Yeah, it's not like that wasn't like a new thing. That's the first time I'm seeing that.
Yeah. King of Fighters 15 received a new trailer introducing Dolores, one of the 8 playable characters. An open beta test is taking place on November 19th. So if you're into fighting games, this one will definitely be for you. Yes. And next up, this one's actually coming to PlayStation Plus for November. Actually, it's called First Class Trouble. It's a social deduction game. You see 6 players enter a game, but 2 of them are personoids trying to stop the others from escaping, coming November 2nd. So, hey, it's free. Or if you have a PS Plus subscription, you might want to check this out. So, and then
Sounds
Star
a bit like,
Ocean.
Among Us, right?
Yeah. Star Ocean, the Divine Force. So there was a lot of people talking about this. To commemorate the 25th anniversary of Star Ocean, Square Enix debuted the latest entry in the iconic series. Star Ocean, the Divine Force is due out in 2022. So they showed some combat from that as well. So.
And guess what? It is not skipping Xbox. Whoa.
Shock.
The Square Enix game, come on. Like, That's
Yeah.
cool. It's nice that that's going to be an Xbox. But I saw this trailer. I'm like, ugh, this game looks rough,
Okay.
and I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
See, I haven't played much of Star Ocean. I played the first and the second. Really like the second one, but like I know the last one did not get received well. Like it was pretty bad. So people are hopeful on this one, but like all I saw from this was generic anime game. Insert name here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dime a dozen JRPG, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired of that
And-
genre, man. There's too many of those games. Like,
Yeah.
give me the turn-based RPG. Stop it. Like, I get obviously like that's my favorite thing, and obviously I'm gonna ask for that all the time.
Yeah.
But like, give us a few. Like, stop. You make so many of these, like, not in between like AA, AAA ish looking, like bigger scale, like actiony, Japanese RPGs. But they're not doing. There's like very few and far between you get that for the turn-based.
Yeah.
And these
Dragon
all
Quest and whatever random ones they make for indies.
yeah, I mean that's why like Yakuza Like a Dragon. I was like, thank you. Finally, somebody's like, I'm gonna put the effort into making like a AAA looking turn-based RPG. I mean,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
obviously like Persona 5 is probably that would be considered as well. I'm still holding out on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also because I'm not sure I'm gonna like it because you get like the setting, the genre, and not necessarily what I want to play. But anyway.
Yeah. And you're probably going to get Persona 6 in the next 2 years or so. So
Yeah. And
Anyway.
Shin Megami Tensei 5, which again is another one of those like
November 11th.
really, really weird looking ones. That one counts. I would count that as like, yeah, this is the AAA-ish looking. I mean,
Yep.
it's on Switch only, so how AAA can it be?
Well, we will be talking about that once it comes out. So yeah, it comes out on the 11th, I think. Yeah, November 11th.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? While I'm thinking of it, Burly, would you say that Metroid Dread is AA or AAA?
I would say AAA.
for Nintendo. Yeah, for
For
Nintendo.
Nintendo, they did honestly, and I don't know for how much expats put in it. They did put their effort into this game. Like,
Yeah, from what I played so far, it looks like it.
They brought their A game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, after so many years of development, you could only expect that.
They better, like, especially if you're going to charge $90 for a 2D Metroid, you have to. I have to say $90 because that's what it is here for us Canadians.
Okay.
It's like you have to bring your A game.
Okay.
But I mean, we
Let's
don't
move
really
on,
know
guys. Let's
how
move
long
on.
they actually worked on it. But anyway.
Yeah, let's move on. So the last game they showed at the State of Play, Little Devil Inside. So this was kind of an interesting one. It capped off with 4 minutes of Little Devil Inside, an action-adventure RPG full of monsters. This is the longest look we've received at this title to date, and it's expected to hit PS5 and PS4 in 2022. Now, at the very beginning of this trailer, guys, I had these, I don't know why, it's kind of weird, but the music and, the eyes of the characters, kind of gave me like Thomas the Tank Engine type of vibes, at the very beginning. And then the train going through there, and the narration, it kind of sounded like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Your brain's associating, the eyes
Yeah.
and the train that you're seeing.
Yeah.
with Thomas.
Yeah.
Do you see Sir Topham Hatt anywhere in this trailer?
No, but I was waiting for him. I was like, he's going to show up somewhere. Yeah, but as this trailer went on, it looked pretty interesting. I mean, all these different, like landscapes and, like the little battles you get into and everything. What did you guys think? Burly, what did you think of this? Yeah.
Yeah, this looked all right, but this was when I watched this, nothing on this stand out like that. I need to pick this up. I need to play this.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those games I look and like, if this comes to PS Plus in 3 years and I just get it for free, I'll try it for an hour and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a game that, like, if it was coming to Game Pass, like, yeah, I'd try it for sure. I'd be excited to try it.
Yeah.
It looks. It was. I think this was the most interesting thing I think they showed at this event.
Yeah.
Which is probably why this is the game that they announced that, hey, there's going to be an in-depth look into this game, which sort of set the
4-minute
standard.
in-depth look.
What you're going to see here. Visually, the visuals are really interesting at times, right?
Yeah.
But when you get to that overworld look, I'm like, I don't like these like little tiny bouncy like armless, legless like things. It's kind of weird. And there was a section in the overworld map where like the sheep had to move out of the way.
Yeah.
One group of sheep was like bugging out. They're all twitching. Got stuck.
Right,
I'm like, you left that in your trailer there.
Yeah, it was like that
twitchy
aerial view. Yeah.
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 I don't
like it was just a map or something. Yeah. So
yeah. The thing with this game is like I don't know really what it is. Like there's some combat. There's some like adventure-y looking stuff. There's inventory. Like I don't really have a good idea of what I'm doing, and it looks like the game's trying to do a lot of different weird things, and I'm not sure that's gonna add up to something great.
Yeah. All in all, I think just a mediocre at best state of play. I honestly, I think they should just stop and just wait until Horizon's ready. Like a couple of weeks before Horizon comes out, or when God of War Ragnarok's about to come out. Do another state of play. I mean, just showing off all these small indies,
Or they could have done, because we do know they're waiting to show off this apparent remaster that they're going to do of a game, remake.
Mm-hmm.
You could have given us that, give a tease with that. But like the state of plays, and I am a giant Sony fan.
Yeah,
the state of plays this year have been bad.
Yeah,
for the most part, they are like Microsoft has been doing right with their events and showing you, even if not every game is a 10 out of 10, they're giving you quick little vignettes, Game Pass. They're giving you stuff to hook into. A lot of these have been not very good. Like the Ratchet and Clank one, I liked that because I got like 15 to 20 minutes on Ratchet and Clank. But other than that, you got Among Us was coming to PlayStation, and something other small and insignificant. And it's like, Sony hasn't done a good job with these. Besides the ones with these big titles that you're wanting to watch because you're interested in a specific title. Yeah. There's no point to watch these.
Yeah, I mean they're in this dilemma right now of, we don't have the big AAA titles, our exclusives ready to go yet. So it's like we have to show our fans something. And that's the dilemma that they're in, because I mean, if they had those AAAs ready, I mean, these 20-minute PlayStation State of Plays would be 10, 15 minutes worth of that one or two exclusives that they have coming, So.
They could have, at least for this, done a little at the end, did a 5-minute loop of showing you, hey, these were games early in the year. You may have bought them, you may not have. You could have showed a little bit of Ghost, the PS5 version of Ghost, Director's Cut, went to Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, and some of the others. Just to try.
Yeah. And one of the big problems for me with this is that they said it was third-party stuff, right? And these are third-party, but they're indies for the most part. In your head, I'm thinking some AAA stuff. And I know a lot of people out there were thinking that too, because if you look at all the speculation before the event, everyone's saying like, we're going to see, there's a leak that Gotham Knights is going to be there. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be there. And I'm like,
right.
I mean, we should have seen some of that stuff because we know they have the partnerships with those type of games. So why aren't we seeing that?
So their third party, the marketing people should have said third party indie games,
exactly. I was just going to say,
release.
They need to start labeling these events, maybe come up with like subtitles like State of Play Indie, State of Play, showcase, right? Where for like when they show like one game, right? And 15-minute thing. Like Nintendo sort of does this actually. They're better at it. They have like the mini direct, right?
Right.
That's going to be something small. They have like the Nindies show, and then they have the I
Or
don't
they
know
have
if they call
just
it something
shows
different, but
dedicated
they'll
to
say,
one
like,
game. Yeah.
they'll call it like
Mhm.
a Pokemon Direct or
Right.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like they're letting you know in a much better way. And when it's a regular Direct, right, then you know a full length regular Direct is gonna have the good stuff.
Right.
And State of Play has not ever been clear about what you're really going to get. Are you going to get the good stuff, or are you getting the tiny stuff? The show if you could have cut out, I'm going to say King of Fighters and Star Ocean, right? And everything was indie. Am I right? Besides those?
Yeah,
I
I would say you're right on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
think, if I'm not 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot Death's Door coming to PS4 and PS5 on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's true. Yeah.
That was on there as well. Just want to put that out there because that was on Xbox and a lot of people really like that. So
Yeah.
sure, that's probably one of the best announcements you got from there because it's supposed to be a really good game.
Okay, let's stick with Sony here. So this week, of course, Sony has a new games label called PlayStation PC. So what is this going to mean for the future of PlayStation? So this is from Joe Keeley over at what's that?
Just joking. I'm saying it's over. It's dead. PC Master Race.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Okay, so MakeUseOf.com's Joe Keeley. So in the past, if you wanted to play one of Sony's first-party games, you needed one of its consoles, right? So today, the landscape is changing with some of Sony's previously PlayStation exclusive games already available on PC and more are on the way. So, for example, early next year, we're going to have the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection coming to PC, as well as God of War is going to be coming to PC as well. So yeah, we've had a lot of people on the internet all whining and complaining. Oh, this is the end. Oh, F you, Sony. Why are you doing this? I don't know, but I want to ask you guys, I mean, what does this mean for the future of PlayStation? I mean, do you think more console PlayStation owners are going to jump over to PC, or do you think PlayStation is considering, well, now we're going to just start making, AAA titles for PC only and console only, or both? I mean, what do you guys think? Burly, I'll start with you on this one.
Well, I think they're just going to still focus on the console. If you haven't noticed, like most of these games when they come to PC, it's like 4 to 5 years after they've come out on PlayStation. So
Yeah.
it's at that point where the game, let's be honest, it's just sitting on store shelves and you're maybe getting a couple copies sold every month. So it's might as well put this on PC, try and get people into our franchises. Like I know some hardcore Sony fans are butthurt, and it's like, who cares? Let more people get enjoyment out of it. It gets more funding for the studios to make other projects.
Right.
Like Sony's not going to get out of the console market in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
They're going to stick to this. It's just a matter for them of, hey, not everyone played God of War.
Right.
Here, let's get them here. Oh, wait, but Ragnarok's launching on a PS5. Do I want to wait 5 years to get it on PC? You know what? I'll pick up a PS5, whatever, and just pick it up. So they're hoping for that kind of stuff.
Carl?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of God of War, Horizon, Days Gone, any of the games that have come to PC, like you should be happy because this is more money for those teams, PlayStation, to spend on the sequels. I don't think that it's going to be this big of a gap in the future, too. I think it'll shorten. I don't know day and date will ever happen. I think it's possible because if you think about
6 months,
the optics,
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like they're going to play it like at the moment, like we're not going to tell you, right? Because they just want it to be on PlayStation. But I think there's a good optic of if you sell this day and date, right? You can possibly it sold 10 million copies within the first 24 hours. I mean, that would be insane if you're able to say that, right? And what does that do for the PR of your game? That's huge.
Right.
So you're gonna at some point, I think they're gonna look at the amount of sales they're gonna getting on PC, and then like, yeah, but couldn't that have been a lot more if we did that at launch?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be taking away much from the console because people are usually one or the other, and you might cross over here and there for something, but you're going to sit in your preferred place and you're going to buy there for the most part. Right. Like I have Xbox, I have PS4, I have PC, and I'm going to buy most of my stuff on Xbox as far as, anything multi-platform. But if it's exclusive, I'll buy it on PlayStation, and if it's on PC, like Darkest Dungeon, I'll buy it there because it's where I have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just going to, if I had the choice, and then maybe you're saying that they're going to lose sales, but they're not because they're still getting sales, right? They're still selling the same game.
Right. Yeah.
And I wouldn't buy it then possibly if I didn't have that platform.
Yeah.
If I'm not a PC player, then I'm not going to buy, I might not just buy a game because I don't like, tell you what, playing Darkest Dungeon, I'm like, I don't like playing games on PC. I just don't.
Yeah.
My wrist hurts. My wrist is uncomfortable sitting here with this mouse. And maybe I need to get some support there, but it's not, I don't like it. It's not fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think that when it comes to the amount of time that a game, takes to get to PC from PlayStation, I think it's going to be shorter, maybe 6 to 8 months after release. I don't know. It just depends on the sales, I think. So we shall see. But okay, let's move on, guys. Next up, switching from Sony over to, here we go, Nintendo. What are you doing to us, man?
Everyone's favorite company.
First of all, you jack up the prices for Nintendo Switch Online, and now there's a bunch of problems with the games on it. So anyway, this is from IGN and Matt Purslow. Players report Nintendo Switch Online N64 games suffering from input lag and frame rate issues. So some players who have upgraded their Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions to access a new expansion pack are upset about the performance of the service's Nintendo 64 games. Fans are reporting issues of input lag, sound delays, frame rate issues, and incorrect controller layouts. Many issues have been collated into a reset era thread, which has attracted further submissions from players who are unhappy with the service. Common complaints focus on input lag. User Pathtree said, quote, input lag in OT is so bad, end quote. User No Good Names Left echoed this, saying, quote, pretty noticeable input lag and audio delay in all N64 stuff so far. Burly, I'm gonna let you go off on this one, man. And Nintendo's not going to give refunds to anybody. So take it away, man.
I'm surprised that we're not hearing people at least calling for it. You don't see enough of that. Like,
yeah. People should be calling for it. If you paid for this service, if I would have paid to upgrade, I'd be sending emails. I'd be fucking calling and be like, no, you sold me a service that don't work. I don't care that you're going to tell me, it'll get patched in 6 months. No. That's not how this works. You took my money. It's got to work. Right. And if you paid for it, get on Nintendo, hold on to them. And if you have social media, tweet at them and stuff, because that's how you get to these companies, because more and more people will see. And when the pressure builds on them and it looks bad on them on social media, that's how shit gets changed. Yep. But Nintendo, you cannot, if you're going to release a product at a premium price like you did, you have to get this damn day right. If you're going to take my money and charge me that price, you have to get this right. You got this right on the Wii and the Wii U, that they run fine. Yep. You can't get it right on the Switch. Give me a fucking break. This shouldn't be happening. That I can run the N64 games better on my Series S through emulation, or on my laptop. Yep. My laptop, that old business grade laptop. That's sad that like you guys are just giving the case of why emulation is better, and don't give Nintendo the money. Like, I know when my Steam Deck comes out next year and RetroArch is part of Steam, the app is on Steam, I can run them way better on my Steam Deck and I'll have a lot less issues.
You can run them at better frame rates and higher resolutions. I mean,
yeah.
Did you see there's a comparison picture of Ocarina of Time, like the original, and then like the Wii emulation, Wii U or something, and then Switch emulation,
Wii U,
and showing the transparency issues with the water and the reflections,
water temple,
and the fog and the water temple. I was like, that looks like garbage right there.
Yeah,
like, that's completely unacceptable. That's really poor quality emulation software, and I don't. You guys, maybe Nintendo, if you need some help, you can reach out to good old Xbox here, okay? Because they've managed to put original Xbox and Xbox 360, and of course Xbox One as well now on Series X, and it just works. And to be honest, most of the games look better and play better. So you guys are doing it 100% the absolute opposite way. Just stop. Just seek help if you really need it. Seek help. You got the money, okay? Outsource. Just do something, man. Just if you want to charge those prices, spend the money and make this a good service.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. I mean, with Nintendo, it's like they know that they're going to keep getting money from people, so they're just going to continue to roll on and think everything's just going to blow over,
And also, I've heard the online is atrociously bad. So if you're playing Mario Kart or Mario Party, and it's like you guys can't. Nintendo can't do online normally, but if you're charging for this stuff,
this is it's unacceptable.
There are emulators that do that better, like free emulators that can do that better, which is crazy to think that like someone has managed to, like, we can do, make this not online game work online better than Nintendo can make their own games.
Yeah. And you had a lot of people too, probably, that, Nintendo fans that were on the cusp of getting this service thinking, oh, okay, I know it's expensive, but I love Nintendo and I want to play those N64 games. Not now. Not now. Yeah.
I had a few people that told me they were going to break down and buy this, and then they saw what happened. Because I couldn't fathom Nintendo fucking up this badly. I knew they would fuck it up in the sense of, in a few months you're stock going to get N64 games, and it's rarely going to come to the service, because they did that with NES and SNES Classic, and other stuff. But like, I couldn't fathom a launch this bad.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty actually when you think about it, that they didn't offer month to month.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like, all right, I'll try it for a month, see if I like it, see how it is, and then
they probably knew it too. They probably knew it.
Yeah. Let's class action lawsuit incoming right now. There should be. Probably should be, but there won't be.
There should be, but out here in Japan, lawsuits are super expensive to file, and they take forever to go through. So
Nintendo, get them. Get those guys.
Okay, let's go ahead and
$5 and you're in court.
There you go, man. Yeah, American, probably Canada too, right, Burly?
It's $20 here in Canada.
Lawyers are like itching to make a name for themselves,
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So, Amy Hennig. So this story just dropped yesterday. So this is from Jay Peters over at The Verge. Uncharted creative director Amy Hennig is making a Marvel game. A Marvel game, guys. So first it was a Star Wars game, but that didn't work out. So now she's moving and they're going to do a Marvel game. So Amy Hennig, a former creative director at Naughty Dog, who currently leads Skydance New Media, will be working on a new Marvel video game. Skydance described the game, which is its first game, as a, quote, narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game featuring a completely original story and take on the Marvel universe, end quote. but hasn't said which superheroes will be featured in the game. The studio also hasn't shared a release date or even a release time frame, and hasn't said which platforms the game will be available on. But man, I don't know. Anything that Amy Hennig works on is usually really super. And that Star Wars game that she was working on, I mean, we saw the visuals of some of it. Looked amazing, but that never panned out. So I don't know. I'll start with you on this one, Carl. I saw you put something on Twitter saying that you think you would like to see Ant-Man as
Well, that's just
one of the main characters of this this game. I don't know if you were joking or not or what,
Yeah.
but
No, I mean, I would love it if they wanted to do that too. This question has gone around so many times about like what Marvel character do you want to see in a video game? Who do you want to develop it? And my answer has been for a while now Ant-Man by Double Fine. But there's so many good characters. Yeah, like Doctor Strange would be an interesting one to do. Of course, Daredevil is always a good one to choose. It'd be fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you could go almost any. And X-Men, there's so many of the X-Men characters, you know, or in general, just an X-Men game. I mean, they're doing Wolverine, but that's just, you know, he's been a solo hero for a while. So
right. For me, it would be Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see them too. You know.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming back in a big way. I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be looking to synergize. I think they know now, like, to just kind of do anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's, you know, like Soul Reaver is her game, and I love Legacy King Soul Reaver. It's just phenomenal game.
Yeah.
And the second one's really good too.
Yeah.
I hope it's you know, something really interesting, a good character choice, and I hope it's you know, multi-platform. Better not be no time exclusive nonsense on this.
Hey, then again, Microsoft could come and buy Skydance.
They could, and then that's what happens. That's what happens. You're going to buy a studio.
Yeah,
then you can't argue about exclusivity. You own it.
Give Amy Hennig that security. You know, so.
Oh, if they're going to buy that studio, they're going to, like, one of their things is, Amy Hennig, you're locked in for like 10 years minimum. Like, we will give you a pay bump and shit. Like, they ain't stupid. If they're gonna buy that, they're like, right.
There'll be even non-complete clauses after you leave.
Oh yeah, they would.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they'd lock her, and you have to. And but why not Squirrel Girl for the game? No, I like. Honestly, I'm anything goes. But like, I'd love to see Doctor Strange get your magic, mystic arts going.
Yeah, well, it ain't going to be Spider-Man, that's for sure.
Well, Spider-Man and Wolverine are probably off the tables.
Yeah.
I think Guardians are pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, which Captain Marvel? The old Captain Marvel.
Obviously, I wouldn't think that they would do the old guy. Nobody cares about that guy. Marvel, right?
Oh, no. I got a good one. The Golden Oldie.
What?
Do you not know that was the name of Aunt May when she got the powers of the Silver Surfer?
Oh boy, that's funny. Actually, I gotta look that up. Silver Surfer.
Hey, there you go, Silver Surfer. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah. But you gotta think like you know, flying characters. You know, have we really gotten that down yet? Maybe she'll be the one to do it, but you know, flying superhero characters.
Yeah,
it's a tough game design there.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's get to the topic of the show. Of course, this week, actually tomorrow is Halloween. I can't believe it's Halloween already, man. So yeah, it's come so quickly this year. So some horror games that are unique for Halloween. So we're going to discuss some of our favorite horror games, what made them memorable for us, and some horror games we might have played in the past, like when we were growing up, things like that. If for me, there weren't really any horror games when I was growing up, but particularly on the Atari. But
E.T. was a horror game, right?
Yeah, damn, you took my joke.
Yeah, and they buried it in the desert. Look what happened to that. Yeah, so in New Mexico. Yeah, yeah, and what you guys think is the best horror game of 2021? You think? So anyway, first of all, Burly, what growing up or whatever, were there any horror games that you were really into, or like in your early playing days? What were some memorable horror games for you?
My earliest horror game memories as a young kid, back on the old PS1 demo discs, I had the demo for, I believe it was the first Silent Hill. That scared the shit out of me. And it took me a little while before I go, but and that then just the good old Resident Evils, like especially like with the first one where you're walking around in that mansion and the dogs jump through the windows, you're like, oh
yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of good jump scare moments.
Oh
yeah. How about you, Carl?
Yeah, I mean, again, like what is there pre like PS1 era, right? With Silent Hill and Resident Evil, those are two of really.
Those would
good
be like the first,
early,
I think. Yeah,
early horror games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like what's spooky? I mean, like Maniac Mansions kind of was pretty creepy and spooky, a bit.
Yeah.
There was this game. Manhunter, I think it was, or something. It's like PC games, weird, like sort of an adventure game, right? But it had this weird over the top, like I don't know, puzzle running around mechanic too. But it was like these guys in hooded masks, and there was like murders going on, and it was kind of had some like graphic violence in it too. And I was like, oh, this game's creeping me out. That game really, I don't think I ever finished it, but it was a creepy ass game, I tell you.
Yeah.
Dead Space, I played that later, but Dead Space is a phenomenal horror game.
That's my favorite. Oh yes, yeah. And then when it comes to sci-fi horror, also early in the last generation, Alien Isolation was very, very good. Also, I really enjoyed playing that one.
Yeah.
So
not really my genre of game, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess State of Decay 2 is horror in its way. It's not that, but it is. And sometimes it's scary. Like when you're like, getting chased by a lot of zombie, and a feral's coming at you, and he's charging you down, and you're trying to like hide. And the music gets intense as like, we're just going after you. The music will like ramp up, and you get your heart pounding. You're like, God, I gotta get out of here. Like I gotta hide, run somewhere.
Right.
So that can be fun too. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like some other stuff. Like I don't really play a lot of that.
The first Fear got me. I don't know if anyone's played that.
No,
because it's a first person shooter, but you're going around and you get the little girl of Alma jumping and other weird shit. You're going down dark corridors, and if you lose your flashlight and it's got a recharge, oh boy, that game knows how to jump scare you good. Like it draws itself out like how Alien, like the old school movies like Alien, where you get that, oh, it was just a cat. Yeah. And then like it knew how to build the tension and release it at the right moments.
Yeah.
The Medium.
Yeah, this year.
The Medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medium was actually, it's a solid horror game. It's not amazing, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. How about Little Nightmares? That was a great game too.
I would like to try that one day.
Yeah, I got to try that.
Yeah, and Little Nightmares 2, of course, one of the best horror games of this year that came out earlier this year. Yeah. Burly, what would you?
I don't think
no, unfortunately, no. Burly, what would you say is the top horror game currently for streamers?
Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Like I've done 2 sessions on that. Mm-hmm. It is a great game and great to play with people. For me, it is a game I can't stream just because I can't do the focus and chatting with other people I'm playing with, and then trying to focus on my chat. It's not a skill I have. I'll be honest, but
I don't even know.
What you're doing is you're playing as paranormal investigators, and you're going from different situations, and you've got different types of ghosts. You have to You have a little mini objectives you're trying to do, and you got to stay alive. But you got to identify, and you buy different tools as you level up and you unlock. So you can be like, okay, this ghost was able to write in a book, so I can mark that in my journal. And that takes out some of them.
Yeah.
Okay, the ghost could leave footprints through the salt paths I left. Okay,
Yeah.
so we know it's
Mhm.
this.
Okay.
And then you got to guess, and then you got to survive. Like, you can play the game solo or with people. Highly recommend if you play with people.
Yeah.
And the game, it can look really good depending on your settings, but 9 times out of 10 for anyone playing it, especially if you're going to stream it, as soon as you launch the game, turn down your graphics settings because it screws with your frame rate. And the problem is, when the game just released its big update, because it's like, I think it came out in 2018, but the big update that came in October, it reset the graphics settings back to what they think you want to run.
Did
Some other
either of you
games
play Friday the 13th, the recent one?
Yeah,
The, like,
I
asymmetric
didn't.
multiplayer game?
There's Friday the 13th, and of course Dead by Daylight. Yeah,
Right,
it's
which is
kind of a
that's like
similar
the
game.
sort of generic, but then it has
Yeah.
like a, what do you call it, like the guest character. But like Friday the 13th was a smaller game, right? I really enjoyed it actually. It was on, I think I played it like on Xbox Live Gold or something. It came, and yeah, it's kind of fun. Like, I like that. Like, you know, you gotta, the goal is to either you're the kids, the camp kids, or people, teens,
The
whatever.
camp counselors.
Yeah, there's like a time limit. You have to survive
right?
for a
And
certain
you gotta
amount of time.
hide in building, in houses, and you can get certain like equipment or weapons that can help you survive or hide or you know, fend off Jason for a little bit. And when you play as Jason, you know, he's got a bunch of different abilities that makes it really interesting and fun to play.
Right.
Yeah, I actually, like, if you can get the car started, like you can get it running and you can drive. It controls so poorly, but I think like that's sort of intentional, because like you're supposed to be scared and you're like trying to get away, and you're crashing into stuff. You're like, you really felt the intensity in that game. Like, it's I really wish that they would build on that. Like that studio went and made like the Predator game, which I think is like a more generic, you know, type of game. It's a shooter, it's a first-person shooter, right? But you could be the Predator. I'm like, oh, great! Like, it's not unique anymore.
Yeah.
And when I look at Dead by Daylight, it doesn't look like quite the same thing.
Yeah, it's modeled after Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was fun, and there was even there's even like sort of like single player missions, right, in Friday the 13th, where you can you play as Jason and you're trying to kill them all in a certain order, and there's like different goals that you can achieve. So you can win without achieving all of them, but you're going to want to go through and achieve them because there's some really special, awesome, like gruesome kills. So you gotta look up what they are and find those moments, and you want to see those because that's the most fun part about it.
Yeah. Some other games that I think are unique for Halloween, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's, all the lore with those games, really cool. And then also Until Dawn was a game that I really loved to play, from Supermassive Games, of course, and they have been doing the Dark Pictures anthology series. And just a week ago, I finished Little Hope, which came out last year. And I really like those games. You know, you take on a group of characters. What's that?
They announced the new one.
They announced a new one as well. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. They, at the end of the current game, they show the trailer for the next game. And I was saying this in last week's episode of the podcast. When you're in the library with the caretaker, he goes up to the bookshelf and he picks the book off the shelf for that game that you're playing. But then next to it has the symbol for the next game. So like in Little Hope, he picks out the book for Little Hope, but right to the right of that book is the symbol for House of Ashes. And then he gives clues, like at the very end of the game, he'll say, maybe we'll meet again in the Arabian desert. You know, so I'm sure there were several clues in House of Ashes for this new one too. But yeah, I mean, just the group of characters that you have, and whether or not you can keep them alive, or, you know, if they die and all, is really fun. And there's jump scare scenes and all. I mean, I remember in Until Dawn that scene when the kid gets his fingers chopped off. It's like, yeah, it was a pretty gruesome moment there. Yeah, so yeah, those are fun games to play. So and the Dark Picture series, they're not as big in scope and in production value as Until Dawn was. I mean, they're kind of more like shorter games in a sense, but still the same model, I think. Yeah. So,
yeah. So you had that PlayStation money on the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, yeah, the 8 games they're making for the anthology series, 8. So the new game that they just showed is number 4. So they've got another 4 games after that they're making. So they're going to be making those for a while. So yeah, okay. Some other horror games from this year, of course, Resident Evil Village, of course, Returnal. You can consider that a horror game in a sense too. Martha is Dead. I don't know if you guys heard of that one. Martha is Dead. Back for Blood, also. You can categorize that. And of course, House of Ashes from the Dark Pictures anthology series. I'm looking forward to playing that one. But what do you think, Carl? I think that those games might come to Game Pass. I really do. The Dark Pictures series. Yeah.
I mean, none of them have yet. I think at this point,
none of them have yet.
So I don't know if that means anything, but yeah, I would try one if it was on Game Pass. Otherwise, I don't know if that's my type of game. But
yeah,
I was looking up what that game, that Manhunt. It's called Manhunter New York, and it's from 1988. It's a DOS-based graphic adventure. Creepy, man. It was creepy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm dating myself there, but it was DOS games was an era, man. There's some really weird, interesting DOS games out there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the new game releases for the week of November 1st through the 7th. So I'm gonna give my pick of the week. Yeah. And this is from the web page called releases.com for November. Releases.com. So we're looking at the list here of games in November. So the new game releases for November 1st through the 7th. I'm going to give my pick because most people are going to be playing this. Burly, probably live streaming it as well as playing it all around the world. Call of Duty Vanguard. And of course, I have a preview video up on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Expat YouTube Gaming. So go and check out that game preview. So I'm going to read the description of it here. And it comes out on November 5th for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. It doesn't say S, but it's coming out on the S too. If it's coming out on the X, it's coming out on the S.
Well, I think they just got tired of saying Series S, Series/X.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So rise on every front. Dogfight over the Pacific, airdrop over France, defend Stalingrad with a sniper's precision, and blast through advancing forces in North Africa. The Call of Duty franchise returns with Call of Duty Vanguard, developed by Sledgehammer Games, where players will be immersed in visceral World War II combat on an unprecedented global scale. Through a deeply engaging single-player campaign, a select group of soldiers from different countries rise to meet the world's gravest threat. Players will also make their mark across Call of Duty's signature multiplayer experience, plus an exciting new zombies experience developed by Treyarch. Now, this is the 18th game in the Call of Duty series. So, it's, Activision, they make their money every year, and this year is going to be no different. So, Call of Duty Vanguard on November 5th. So that's my pick because it's the biggest game that's going to make the most money this coming week. Carl, what's your pick of the week?
Man, I don't know if there's really anything worth highlighting here, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yeesh. Rough, slim pickings here.
Yeah.
Man. I guess let's just say Knockout City is getting a PS5 and Series X version.
Okay.
On November 2nd, and that is going to be that's one of the PS Plus games, right? I believe.
Yeah.
This month. So
yeah, Burly's going to be talking about the PS Plus games here in a couple minutes. So.
Team up and duke it out with rival crews in Knockout City, where epic dodgeball battles settle the score in team-based multiplayer matches. Throw, catch, pass, dodge, and tackle your way to dodgeball dominance. And it looks fun, honestly. Like,
yeah.
If I were gonna play multiplayer games with friends, which I really don't anymore, this probably would have been something I would have tried.
Yeah, this is on Game Pass, right, Carl? Knockout City.
It hasn't. I don't think so. No, I don't know. If it's coming to PS Plus, I think that means no.
Okay.
There isn't any real crossover there, but
okay. Yeah, 'cause I thought it came to Xbox Game Pass.
Unless, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I didn't really.
It was on. I think it was on there at one point.
Let me see.
But
I'll look into it if you want to look up something. Yeah. You want to talk about your game, Burly?
Yeah, Burly. Go for it, man.
I have one. Demon Turf coming Thursday, November 4th to Mac, PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. 3D platform with attitude. Join Beebs in her ambitious goal of taking over Demon Turfs and becoming the Demon Queen herself. Jump, spin, and punch your way across the turfs with unique mechanics and the momentum-driven combat and self-paced checkpoints. Face the Demon King head on. Like I like the art style, and I do like the I do like my platformers. I suck at them, but this looks like this is just going to be a fun little short game. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
any updates there, Carl? What do you say?
It says it's on Game Pass Ultimate because it's part of EA Play.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it is technically yes, but
okay,
it has to be Ultimate because that's how you get the EA Play.
Right. Okay, and Carl, why don't you list off for us the Xbox games with gold for November?
Well, I gotta bring that list up there.
Okay. While you're doing that, I guess my second pick for this week would be Prison Simulator.
You got two?
Ooh.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to play anything on PC this week, it would probably be Prison Simulator because, hey, it's like, the only other game that I was considering playing that's like in a prison setting is No Way Out. That seemed pretty cool. But the Prison Simulator, hey,
It's funny. I was looking at that one on this list, but actually you're playing a prison guard. I'm not sure I want to be a prison guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen people stream that game. You're a guard. You're not a prisoner.
Yeah,
that's what my brother does. Actually, he's a corrections officer. Yeah,
interesting.
So he would not need to play this game. He just lives it.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, I already deal with this shit as a day.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah,
the game is not realistic if it doesn't have suicide watches.
Yeah,
where you just gotta sit there and make sure they don't commit suicide.
And there's not an Epstein mode where you can fake being asleep and just let the Clintons in. I mean, other people in.
Hey, Carl.
House, right?
Carl, do you have the list up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here.
What do we got?
November 1st through the 30th. Moving Out, which that's like one of those little indie fun multiplayer games. You got to move all your furniture in and out of places. And that's the Xbox One game. And then you got what is this thing? Deadlands. That's a pixel art game. I saw this. This is November 16th through December 15th.
Okay.
I'm not looking at like the descriptions of the games here, so sorry.
Called Kingdom Two Crowns, right? Kingdom Two Crowns.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I thought too. But in this picture of the art from the video, it says Deadlands. So I'm not sure. Maybe it has multiple names, like a subtitle. Anyway, that game. And then you got 360 games, November 1st to 15th. You got Rocket Knight. That's I remember that game from like the Genesis. Was it Genesis or SNES era?
Yeah.
They had like
Genesis.
Yeah. It's one of those like sort of mascot platformer games. Is he a possum or something? Or he's got a
I
rocket?
think he's a
And
a
a sword.
dog with a rocket jetpack.
No, he ain't a dog. That's for sure. I'll have to look that up. Sparkster. And then November 16th through the 30th, you got Lego Batman 2.
Okay. Okay. And Burly, what are the PS Plus games for November?
Your PS Plus games for November, you have we are getting three VR titles they're giving us as well. Besides the normal, the Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Until You Fall, which will go live November 2nd. But one of the ones that we mentioned earlier, Knockout City, that is coming to PS4 and PS5, the dodgeball game. You got First Class Treble, which is also coming PS4, PS5. It's a social deduction party game for 6 players and online. Players assume the role of residents or personoids aboard a luxury space cruiser. The residents work together to shut down a rogue artificial intelligence, while the personoids will conspire to stop them. And the last game is Kingdoms of Alamar Re-Reckoning, which is a remaster of an older game from 2012.
It's interesting that they're putting 3 VR titles in here. So, yeah.
I think Sony is more just because I think Sony is trying to still, because they want to remind people VR still exists, and they're trying to they are still, like, I can tell because I went to a Best Buy last weekend. Sony is still trying to push VR, the PSVR, to get you to people to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if this trend's going to continue, like next month, and like for December's games for PS Plus, if we're going to get 2 or 3 VR titles a month now. We'll see, but it'll be interesting.
I found out why it said Deadlands. Because apparently Deadlands is the third optional campaign in Kingdom 2 Crowns, inspired by the action RPG Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Okay.
All right.
We need to get their art straight. They're going to say one thing and put that as the other. I'm still trying to figure out what Sparkster was. Okay?
Yeah.
Rocket Knight here.
Yeah.
It's not saying. Why is it not very obvious and clear? Damn you.
All right. Okay, now it's time for some show announcements for our Patreon. Our sci-fi movie reaction terminal episode 1, our reaction to Dune that Burly and I did, is up on Patreon, and it's up on our YouTube channel now as well. So please check that out. And of course, as I said at the beginning of the show, the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News podcast from this episode on will now be recorded in video format. And so we will have video format and audio format now. So those of you that want to watch our mugs here on video, you'll have a chance to watch us on Patreon for the first day. And then, of course, it will go up to our YouTube channels after early access. And then, of course, the audio versions, the same as before, will go up in early access for a day, ad-free, of course, and then it will go up to the free podcast services as well as to our YouTube channel. So, now it's time to talk about where people can find us on social media and what we're going to be playing this next week. So I'm going to continue with The Forgotten City. I'm going to play more of that, and as well as Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Discovery Tour. Then probably after that, I don't know. It'll probably take me a little while to finish The Forgotten City. So I'm probably going to be focusing on that most of this coming week. Might have some more things to say about that moving forward into next episode. But Carl, what are you going to be playing this week? No more State of Decay, I hope. Yeah, you're done with that, right?
I wish, but I actually started playing the Heartland DLC again for some reason, because there's two different sets of characters you can choose from, and I didn't realize that because I saw that there was achievements based on it. And I was like, what is this they're talking about? And then I realized that there's like 2 different story paths depending on which one you choose. So I was like, I should check this out, but whatever. And I'm going to play, I want to finish up Echo Generation, although I'm not super compelled because I feel like there's not really a story. I'm not looking for like, I'm going to get some interesting conclusion. So I'm like, whatever. Forgotten City, I want to jump into I didn't try Moonglow Bay yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks like a cute, fun little voxel art sort of fishing town RPG.
Cool.
And Darkest Dungeon 2, of course. I'm going to put some more time into that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Rocket Knight is a possum, by the way. He is.
Okay.
Burly, how about you, man? What are you going to be playing?
Well, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll be streaming that later today, and tomorrow I'll be doing Pumpkin Jack. So the next bit it's going to be Guardians, and once that's done, start up Judgment.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. Yeah, I want to see you play that game. Yeah. Cool.
I do want to play Guardians. I talked about it. You think I would have got it, but. And just have all these other things to play, and it's like a full price game. I'm like, do I really need to? Yeah, also it's late in the year, right? So like, my birthday is next month, and holiday season's coming around. That's a game that I would definitely be like, yeah, someone get me that for as a gift.
Cool. Yeah, I know we'll all be playing Halo Infinite when it comes out too, and then of course Forza is coming out in a couple of weeks too. So. Want to test that out and race some cars around in the Mexican desert. Yeah,
I feel like I want to play that. For the showcase of it, it's going to be like, with like Flight Simulator. I'm like, this looks beautiful. This is interesting. And then I'm like, all right. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay, so before we conclude the episode, I want to let all of you know where you can find me on social media. You can find me on Twitter at expat_gamer. As well as on the podcast Twitter handle at the Arena AMPGNP. And my general content creator site is at expat2020.live. On YouTube, my channel for gaming and podcast content, named Expat YouTube Gaming, is at youtube.com/expat2020gaming. And the podcast channel for gaming, entertainment, and pop culture is at youtube.com/thearena citadel. My other social media links, as well as an invite to the Arena Podcast Discord, are at Linktree at linktr.ee/expat2020. That does it for me. Carl, where can people find you on social media, man?
I'm just on Twitter at Turn-Based Carl.
Cool. And Burly, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BurlyMenGaming. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BurlyMenGaming.
Awesome. And we want to wish all of you a happy Halloween, and thank you for viewing us on this first episode in video format. And we look forward to bringing more of these episodes to you in video format, as well as in audio format as usual. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to our patrons as well, and to all you viewers and listeners out there. So thank you so much. And we hope you have a happy Halloween. So to end the show, our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight, just in time for Halloween, is on Jimmy Svensson. As an artist and producer for over 2 decades, Sweden-based Jimmy Svensson has focused on composing for visual media since the mid-2000s. Mysterious and engaging, he creates huge sound pads punctuated by synth and piano leads that seem to carry you forward with a sense of trepidation. From his album titled The Darkest Day, and the song is called No More Light. This has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 60. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly of BurlyMenGaming on Twitch, and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So happy Halloween, everyone. Take care. Peace out.